course, people talk about the trilogy, and for me, I'll always look at the biggest fights out there, but it's about now also the career of Jack Catterall, and he should have been undisputed world champion. So we need to try and position him now for a world championship fight. When you have a performance like that, when you have a night like that, positioning someone is a lot easier to do because people want to see it. And we have Subriel Matias fighting Liam Parra in a couple of weeks. We've got Devin Haney going to fight Sandor Martin. Teofimo Lopez is fighting Steve Claggett. And I don't want to be disrespectful to Steve Claggett, but it's a fucking disgrace. It's a joke, absolute joke fight. It's on ESPN. I mean, it's like you talk about the Teofimo Lopez coming off a good win against Josh Taylor, says he's the best 140-pounder in the world. That's a joke fight. You know, this is the guy who should be fighting Teofimo Lopez, and we believe he'll beat him all day long. So we believe he should be world champion. That's the thing of the past, but that's the next step, the natural step to fight for a world championship.
Here with Eddie Hearn. First fight, man.
Enjoy it? What do you think of the atmosphere?
Bro, that was crazy.
I told you. I told you.
That compares to nothing I've experienced
really?
in the U.S.
Good.
The last thing, I think maybe like the atmosphere for Pacquiao versus Marcus
Yeah,
Ford.
yeah.
But even then, I don't.
I know. Wow, yeah, good.
So
I'm glad
big
you
ups on
enjoyed it.
that,
Yeah,
man. Wow. It's weird. I was thinking, why does Eddie come to the U.S. when he has atmospheres like this? Obviously, I know you want to grow your business globally, but I was just like, man, this is.
I know.
Yeah.
But listen, not every week's like that.
No, no.
You know what I mean? But I think one thing that no one can ever rival is the atmosphere in Britain. Like, you know, I mean, it's amazing what's happening in Riyadh, Saudi, and the atmosphere is getting better and better. America, you know, we're seeing some big crowds, but as you saw, just do it different over here, you know, and that was incredible tonight.
So, a few things from the fights. One, you thought it was a lot closer. Why?
Than the scorecards. I mean, although I have spoken to quite a few people who did have it wide.
Yeah.
For me, it was 7-5 or 8-4.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
but you know, I do think 117, 111 is a wide card. 6 rounds. I don't see that in the fight. So the problem is then you get that scorecard, and everyone talks about that scorecard. Obviously, Bob goes mental, and then like everyone's talking about Bob rather than talking about what a fight, what a performance. I don't really see many people outside of a few people from Scotland that think that Josh Taylor won the fight. But I did have it quite close. But you know, I have no doubts that the right man won.
Speaking of Bob, you know, what did you make of when he sort of went off?
Great. I mean, Bob's 93. He don't give a what you think, I think, anyone in the world thinks. He just got up there and went, "Give me the mic," and I was like, "Go on, Bob, off you go." And he was like, I mean, it was one of them where it was like, you know, I'm sure there's a few people from Top Rank going, grab the mic now. But Bob's Bob. Like, you need people like Bob. He's a passionate guy, and that's what we want. I agree with him, by the way. Everything that I just said to you is the same. I think deep down he probably thinks that Jack won the fight. He'll never say that. Last week he thought Fury won the fight. And listen, if I was Bob Arum, I'd be standing here now telling you I had it a draw. Right? Because that's what we do. We back our fighters. But, you know, I think the scorecard gave him an excuse to, you know, create something, that some kind of mystique that it was the wrong man got the decision. That's not the way,
You mentioned Teo as a potential opponent for Jack, but just overall, you didn't have a very good impression of this fight that he has coming up. What elicited that kind of response from you?
It was a terrible fight. I mean, look, Steve Cleggett's a real tough guy. We got offered Steve Claggett for Subriel Matias, and I said he's not good enough. I can't tell you that Subriel Matias is this unbelievable talent and put him in with Steve Claggett. What's he got, like 8, 9 losses, something like that in his record? But he's also super tough, and I'm not, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's a terrible fight for ESPN. Like, Jack Catterall against Teofimo Lopez is a proper fight. But let him do his thing. We'd love that fight after. I mentioned Riyadh or whatever. We can bring big fights to Manchester. He does big crowds as well. You know, I have to be honest, the rubber match is there. It does exist. It is a big fight, but the focus is a world championship fight.
If you could pick and choose who the next fight is for a world title from the title holders, who would you want?
Teofimo Lopez.
Teofimo, yeah.
Because he talks a lot of shit about me. I think it'd be a great build-up. He's a good fighter, you know, and but anyone. We'll see how Subriel Matias gets on. He's got a tough fight against Liam Parra. It's not an easy fight. Devin's fighting Sandor Martin. We'll see what happens.
Would it be easy to make that fight, given the networks with Teo and
Only if
Jack?
it was in Saudi Arabia.
Only in Saudi, that fight would happen.
Yeah.
Really? There's no chance it happens here or in
No,
the US?
because they would never choose Jack Catterall for a defence because they know how good he is.
Okay, finally, Eddie, just the 5v5,
Yeah.
just your expectations for it, and regardless of result, do we see another one?
I think we see an unbelievable night next Saturday.
Yeah.
5 pure 50-50 matchups, and I think we're going to come out on top, but you're going to see a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and like I said, a great night of boxing.
Things go well, do you look to sign Deontay Wilder?
We'll see. Maybe we'll be jumping through the ropes, cuddling him as he scores a knockout over Zhang to win the tournament. Unbelievable scenes.
Has there been talks at all?
No.
No, nothing. All right. Thank you, Eddie.
No worries, thanks for coming to us.